What's going on, everybody? Adam here with Coverbandconfidential. So a couple of weeks back, I made a video about transitioning from that nice orange rock reverb 50 behind me to the HX Stomp. And one of the members of our Patreon exclusive Slack channel had asked me to do a run through of the presets that I'm using. So I wanted to go ahead and walk you through not only how they are set up, but also how I navigate through them and all of the general ins and outs of this setup. My primary project is an 80s band called Members Only, and I use 5 presets throughout the course of our shows. Now, everything you are about to hear is coming directly out of my HX Stomp directly into Logic Pro. No EQs, no compression. The guitar I'm using for this demo is going to be my Lee Malia Signature Explorer. I know it has an aggressive look, but the pickup configuration on this guitar is very unique and super versatile, specifically because it has a P90 in the neck position and a humbucker in the bridge position that has a coil tap. It is able to do some really fat sounding clean tones in the middle position, as well as all the normal high gain stuff you would get from a bridge humbucker. So the first thing I wanted to cover is the way that my patches are set up. On the HX Stomp, I have basically deleted all of the factory presets with the exception of a handful that I still use for other projects. And I have at spot 47 a blank preset that says MO set preset. And this is just a marker for when I'm using these up and down foot switches to navigate through the patches that I'm on the right bank of presets. I have them set up basically from lowest gain to highest. That just has been the easiest way that I found to navigate through these particular presets. My band switches our song list up pretty frequently, and setting it up this way is just the easiest way I've found to navigate to the presets that I'm looking for. So first up is an acoustic simulator. Let's walk through that signal flow real quick. First thing in the chain is an LA Studio comp, followed by the acoustic simulator itself that is set to enhanced. Right after that is an impulse response for a Dreadnought running into a U67 that I purchased from Worship Tutorials. Sounds awesome. That then goes into a mod chorus echo, a plate reverb, and a glitz reverb, which is basically like a shimmer verb that can be triggered on and off using the foot switches. Currently, the delay and the reverb are the two things that are mapped to the pedals. I don't normally use snapshots. I prefer just the ability to turn things on and off whenever I feel like it. Things kind of change from show to show, so that's what I've worked with. With the guitar in the middle position and the coil tap enabled, it sounds a little something like this. Turn the reverb off a little bit. And I use this primarily in our set for I Melt With You. For a solid body electric, I think it sounds pretty convincing. So the next preset is called Clean JC-ish. This is, of course, a Roland Jazz chorus. Any of that sort of like generic, clean 80s tones are being done through this preset. Sounds good in the with the coil tap and that just that single coil sound. This preset was purchased with a couple of other ones in the 1975 preset pack, and you can definitely hear that sound in this, but of course that's what they're going for also. But if you wanted to do the 1975 type stuff, you can do it with this as well. Very, very cool. All right, so the signal flow for this one is a Rochester comp going into a 63 spring reverb, into a vintage digital delay, then the amp itself. Impulse response is a Zilla cab that came with the preset pack, and then going into a chorus. Again, super standard 80s clean tone, big fan of it. It gets a fair amount of work in our set. Moving up in the gain world, this is a Matchless preset that I believe started its life as a Michael Britt preset. I use it for songs like Summer 69 where I need like a big diamond open chord tone, but not too much gain. Signal chain for this one is a Red Squeeze compressor into an 808 tube screamer into the amp itself. Then the impulse response is that 5150 cab I've used in some of the other videos, going into a ping pong delay, and then a plate reverb that is set to always be on. The foot switches are mapped to the 808 and to the delay. When you add those in, you can get a passable lead tone, but again, not quite as dirty as I would prefer without the delay. Like I said, this one gets used a little bit, but not as much as the next one. So the next one is basically what I run 80% of our show off of. This is called Lonestar Crunchy, also a Michael Britt preset that I have tweaked to oblivion. Signal chain here is a little bit different. No compressor. It does have a pitch shifter that is typically not turned on, but is there for like a whammy kind of effect when I need it. Normally it stays off. Next thing is a clon that's set to the foot switch. Follow-up is going to be a Stupor OD that is set to always on. Amp itself is the Cali, Texas channel 1, not the channel 2. I really like the sound out of this one. Again, into the 5150 cab. Then ping pong delay and the Ganymede reverb, which is typically not turned on. This is my go-to mid-crunch rhythm tone. Add the clon, sounds like this. A little brighter. Just a scotch more gain. That delay for some solo work. This is my bread and butter. I use this probably for 80% of our show. Really, really great sounding. Not necessarily the amp that I would have picked for this kind of tone, but man, it sounds amazing. And you know, when it sounds this good, there's really not much you can argue with. Now, the last one is one that I've actually covered before on this channel, and this is my Revv Gen purple preset. Looking through it, you have got a kinky boost in the front, which is set to the foot switch again, going into an 808, which is always on. Then the amp itself, again, not super gained up though, drives at 4.5. Back into the 5150 impulse response, I got a duct delay and a room reverb, and this is, for all intents and purposes, the Pour Some Sugar on Me preset. Great classic metal tone. All right, guys, so there you have it. If you have any questions about any of these presets or any of the settings, feel free to reach out, coverbandconfidential@gmail.com. Also, it goes without saying, if you haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. We post new videos here every single Friday. Also, it's officially fall, and we now have hoodies in our merch store. Go ahead and grab one of those before it gets too cold. Have an awesome week, and we will see you next time.